The internet is on fire right now because a story so shocking, so unbelievable, has just rocked the hip-hop world to its core. Reports are swirling that Sexyy Red, the raw, unfiltered rap star who shot to fame off her unapologetic lyrics and viral anthems, has just been handed a death sentence after allegedly being caught up in a case involving trapping, betrayal, and the ultimate crime: the killing of a man. Yes, you heard that right. A death sentence. In 2025. In an era where celebrity scandals usually mean canceled tours or leaked images, this is something no one saw coming. Fans are screaming, insiders are leaking, and social media is drowning in chaos as court documents, wild theories, and insider recordings start making the rounds. The story is beyond messy. Alleged secret deals, shady backroom evidence, cryptic Instagram lives hinting that she knew the trap was coming. And now, a courtroom explosion that has left her career, her freedom, and her life hanging by a single thread. But the most disturbing twist: rumors are spreading that this wasn't just a random act of violence, it was part of a setup. One that might involve people much closer to her than anyone could have guessed. So what really happened? And is this the end for Sexyy Red? Or just the beginning of an even darker chapter? Sexyy Red's rise was nothing short of meteoric. She went from underground buzz to mainstream headlines in record time, building her entire brand around raw, unapologetic honesty, viral anthems, and an image that was as controversial as it was magnetic. Fans either adored her for keeping it real or dragged her for being too much, but either way, she was always the name on everyone's lips. But behind the glitz, the fashion, and the viral hits, whispers followed her everywhere. There were rumors of street ties, whispers of debts, and accusations that her success wasn't just fueled by music, but by darker, more dangerous connections. While blogs often dismissed these stories as clickbait, industry insiders kept repeating one phrase over and over: "She's playing with fire." With this shocking case exploding into headlines. It looks like that fire has burned out of control. According to reports, the case centers around a night that should have never happened. Allegedly, Sexyy Red and a small circle of associates set up a man in what insiders are calling a trap gone wrong. Court filings describe how the victim was lured with promises, cornered, and ultimately lost his life in what prosecutors painted as a cold, calculated move. And here's where things get even darker. Prosecutors claim they have receipts, text messages, location pings, a mysterious recording said to capture her voice planning the whole thing. Fans who once screamed her lyrics are now screaming in disbelief. No way this is real. No way she'd do something like that. But the courtroom wasn't forgiving. Witnesses testified. Prosecutors painted her as not just a participant, but the mastermind. And when the jury came back, the unthinkable happened: a death sentence. Something that hasn't touched the hip-hop industry in decades. The ultimate punishment for a star who once rapped about being untouchable. And yet, if you think this is just an open and shut case, think again, because insiders are already whispering that the trial was rushed. Evidence was manipulated, and forces bigger than the courtroom wanted to see her fall. Some say she was betrayed from the inside. Others insist she knew exactly what she was doing. Social media, as expected, is divided down the middle. Her supporters are calling it a setup, pointing to suspicious inconsistencies in the testimony. Her critics, they're calling it karma, claiming her wild lifestyle finally caught up with her. And then there's the victim, a man whose name is barely being mentioned in the headlines, raising even more suspicion. Who was he? What ties did he have to Sexyy Red? Was this personal or something much bigger? Maybe even connected to rival crews, hidden deals, or an ongoing street war no one outside the circle knew existed. All these questions are fueling the fire, and the internet wants answers. 'Cause if this wasn't just a crime of passion, if this wasn't just a random act, and what really went down that night. Some insiders claim leaked text messages will show she wasn't the one in control at all, that she was dragged into the trap by people she trusted. People now watching her take the fall. Others claim prosecutors are hiding evidence that could prove she was set up from the jump. And now, with a death sentence looming, the stakes couldn't be higher. Her music career is in ashes, her fans are rioting online, and her enemies. They're celebrating, but the biggest twist hasn't even dropped yet. Because if the rumors of a leaked secret tape are true, it could flip this case upside down and expose a betrayal so deep it makes the death sentence itself look like just the beginning. The stage is set, the players are revealed, and the stakes. They couldn't be higher. The day of the trial felt less like a legal proceeding and more like the season finale of a reality show gone horribly wrong. Outside the courthouse, cameras swarmed. Protesters clutched signs that read, "Freeze Sexy," while others held placards screaming justice for the victim. Fans sobbed on live streams, reporters shouted questions, and social media feeds buzzed with every second of her arrival. When Sexyy Red stepped out of the transport van, shackled and stone-faced, the crowd erupted. Some screamed encouragement, others hurled insults. But all eyes were on her, the rap star whose fate would be decided in the most shocking trial hip-hop had ever seen. Inside, the atmosphere was suffocating. The prosecution wasted no time, painting her as the villain. Their story was chilling. She didn't just witness a man's killing, she orchestrated it. They played clips of text messages allegedly pulled from her phone. One read, "Make sure he there, I'll handle the rest." Another, "Don't let him leave." And then came the bombshell, an audio clip. A grainy, scratchy recording, but the voice sounded eerily like hers, saying, "He won't make it out tonight." The courtroom gasped. Journalists typed furiously. Blogs pushed out instant headlines. Sexyy Red caught on tape plotting fatal trap. But here's where the drama twisted. Her defense team immediately fired back, claiming the audio was doctored. They pointed out glitches in the clip, gaps in the metadata, and argued it was a setup planted by someone determined to take her down. The prosecution countered with a witness, a former associate of hers, who sat trembling in the box, testifying that she had personally directed the entire trap. His words cut through the room like a blade. She said he was a problem. She said she wanted him gone. But who was this witness? Insiders online were quick to reveal his identity. A one-time close friend. Someone who had appeared in her early music videos, laughing and celebrating her rise. Fans immediately cried betrayal, flooding Twitter with posts like, "He's lying to save himself." And this is straight Judas energy. And then the first twist struck. Mid-trial, a leaked set of private DMs surfaced online, allegedly between the prosecution's star witness and another associate. In them, he bragged, "They buying my story. I'm walking free." Another line read, "She taking the fall. Easy money." Screenshots spread like wildfire. Fans reposted them with captions like, "Proof he's lying." Blogs debated whether they were real. The defense seized on them, demanding the witness's testimony be thrown out. The judge, however, allowed the trial to continue. The damage was already done, not just in court, but in the court of public opinion. Meanwhile, whispers spread that someone close to her had leaked those DMs on purpose. Was it a friend still loyal to her? Was it a rival trying to stir chaos? No one knew, but the fact that evidence of manipulation had leaked mid-trial turned the case into a circus. Every night, the internet turned into a digital battleground. TikTok edits showed her mugshot next to the leaked texts, with captions like "framed" or "guilty." Twitter threads dissected the audio recordings second by second, some swearing it was AI generated. Others said the rawness proved it was real, and Sexyy Red herself. In the courtroom, she sat stone cold, her face unreadable. But on the third day, as the prosecution replayed the audio, A single tear rolled down her cheek, a moment that cameras captured and fans turned into a viral image, the tear that broke the internet. Yet, just when it looked like the prosecution had locked her fate, the defense dropped their own bombshell, a claim that the victim himself wasn't as innocent as painted. They hinted at his connections to street crews, debts owed, and past disputes with her circle. They argued this wasn't premeditated murder, it was retaliation. Possibly even self-defense by her associates, twisted into a narrative to bury her. The judge silenced the arguments, but the jury heard enough to wonder, and the internet, it exploded again. Half screamed, "She's innocent. This was a setup." The other half shouted, "Doesn't matter. A man is gone. A man is gone." But then came the true first twist. It's the moment that sent the case spinning out of control. Late one night, while the jury deliberated, a new clip surfaced online. A hidden recording longer, clearer than the original, with a woman's voice, eerily like Sexyy Red's. This time, the words were undeniable. "Make sure nobody finds out it was me." The internet exploded. Was this the missing piece prosecutors had hidden? Was it planted by enemies desperate to bury her? Fans screamed sabotage. Others screamed guilt. But everyone agreed this case had just gone from shocking to catastrophic. When the jury returned, the verdict was brutal, guilty. And the sentence? Death. The room fell silent. Gasps echoed. She sat frozen, her eyes locked forward, while the crowd outside erupted in chaos. But even as the gavel fell, even as headlines blared Sexyy Red sentenced to death, one question lingered: who leaked that second recording, and why did it surface at the exact moment it could destroy her? Because if it was truly real, then she had sealed her own fate. But if it was a setup, if the whispers about manipulated evidence and traitors inside her circle were true, then this wasn't just a conviction, it was an assassination, and the world knew. The real story hadn't even begun to unravel. The trial may have ended, but the story was far from over. In fact, what happened after the verdict sent this scandal into a darker, more chaotic dimension. Hours after the gavel came down, an anonymous account called @JusticeForTruth appeared on X Twitter. Its profile photo was a blurred courtroom sketch, and its first post simply read, "They lied. I have proof." At first, fans rolled their eyes. Everyone online claims to have receipts. But then the account uploaded a 4-minute audio file, and the internet erupted. The recording sounded like a conversation between two prosecutors. Their voices hushed, their words venomous. "We just need the jury to hear the part where she says, 'He won't make it out tonight. That's enough. Don't bother with the rest,'" the other replied. "Yeah, the full tape would complicate things. Cut it down. Simple narrative." Guilty. The clip spread like wildfire. Within minutes, hashtags like #FakeTrial, #FreeSex, YYRed, and #TamperedEvidence trended worldwide. Fans demanded answers. Are you telling me they edited the recording? Blogs plastered the quote everywhere. Even skeptics couldn't ignore how damning it sounded. But that wasn't all. Alongside the audio came a screenshot of an email exchange, allegedly from a courthouse computer. The subject line, "Exhibit edits." The body of the email, "Keep." The incriminating line, "Remove the context." If true, this wasn't just shady. It was criminal. Supporters of Sexyy Red latched onto it like lifelines. "This proves she was framed," they cried. Meanwhile, critics argued the leaks were fake. Another distraction tactic. But the point was clear. The narrative was no longer simple. And then came the betrayal. A former member of her inner circle, a woman who had been seen partying with her just months before the arrest, went live on Instagram. She sipped wine as she spoke, her tone casual but deadly. "Y'all really think she didn't know what was going down? Please. She told me herself he was a problem. She said, 'He gotta go.'" The comment section exploded. Accusations, slurs, disbelief. But the damage was done. Clips of the woman's live hit TikTok, racking up millions of views with captions like her own friend confirms it. Wait, the betrayal cut even deeper. Hours later, leaked text messages surfaced, showing that same woman allegedly coordinating with prosecutors weeks before the trial. One message read, "I'll testify. Just keep my name clean. Fans lost. She sold her out for a deal." This is straight Judas behavior. The whole case is rotten. Meanwhile, the music industry couldn't stay silent. Cardi B tweeted, "Y'all playing with fire. If they can do this to her, they can do it to a nigh of us." Meek Mill posted, on Instagram, "System ain't built to protect us. It's built to break us." But others took the opposite stance. 50 Cent, never one to hold his tongue, went on a live stream smirking. She wanted to be a gangster, right? Well, this is what gangsters get. Don't cry now. That single comment sparked an loud war in the comments section. Some agreed with him. Others accused him of kicking a woman while she was down. Blogs headlined it immediately. 50 Cent calls out Sexyy Red after death sentence. And just when the storm felt unbearable, another twist dropped, and this. One shook the case like an earthquake. At Justice for Truth posted again. This time, it wasn't audio, it was video. A shaky cell phone recording clearly taken inside a courthouse office. A computer screen glowed, open to a file labeled Exhibit A Audio. The cursor highlighted the incriminating line, "He won't make it out tonight." The next seconds showed the cursor delete large sections before and after that sentence. The video ended with the screensaver flicking on, showing the courthouse logo. The internet screamed. Was this real? Was this proof that evidence had been deliberately altered to secure a guilty verdict? Within hours, civil rights lawyers jumped in, calling for an investigation. Fans organized online petitions demanding her case be reopened. The Shade Room plastered the video across its page with the caption, "Tampered evidence." This changes everything. But for all the uproar, one question loomed darker than the rest. If the trial was really rigged, who ordered it? Some fans whispered it was political. A rising rapper made into an example. Others claimed it was industry sabotage, rivals pulling strings to silence her. Conspiracy theories spread like wildfire, painting pictures of record label betrayals, backroom deals, and a system determined to bury her name forever. And yet, the cruelest twist was still to come. Because that night, as the internet debated, as her supporters rallied, and as her enemies gloated, her legal team dropped a cryptic post. There's a third recording. And when it drops, the truth will be undeniable. The world froze. A third recording, what could be on it? And if it really existed, why wasn't it shown in court? The cliffhanger was set. Sexyy Red wasn't just facing death. She was now at the center of what could become the biggest legal scandal the music industry had ever seen. And with another tape looming in the shadows. One thing was certain, the story was nowhere near finished by the time dawn broke. The Sexyy Red case wasn't just a courtroom story, it was a cultural earthquake. The leaked recordings, the courthouse video, and whispers of a third tape had transformed her death sentence into a global conversation. On X, the trending list was chaos. Hashtag FreeSexYYRed, hashtag rigged trial, hashtag death sentence, and even hashtag tampered justice. Sat side by side. Fans raged in threads that read like war manifestos. One viral post screamed, "Y'all really think they would sentence her to death without a bigger agenda? They've been targeting her." Another countered just as fiercely. "Death sentence or not, a man died. Stop defending her." TikTok erupted too. Clips of her crying in court synced with dramatic music-flooded feeds. Creators split into Team Sexyy and Team Justice, debating whether she was a victim of corruption or the mastermind prosecutors claimed. The hashtag #JusticeForSex YY hit 600 million views in just 24 hours. And then celebrities stepped into the storm. Cardi B doubled down. Posting a furious IG story, they edited the evidence. "I don't care what nobody says. That's not justice. That's a setup." Fans flooded her comments with applause, crowning her the voice of reason. 50 Cent stoked the fire again. On Twitter, he dropped a meme of Sexyy Red in an orange jumpsuit captioned, "Keep it real. You thought this life was a game." His post drew both laughs and fury, sparking think pieces on whether he crossed the line. Meanwhile, Meek Mill hosted a late-night Twitter space titled "When They Come For Us." Thousands tuned in as he ranted, "This is bigger than Sexyy Red. If they can manipulate a case against her, imagine what they can do to regular people with no platform. This is systemic." Clips of his speech hit Shade Room within minutes. Even Kanye West, silent for weeks, couldn't resist. He posted on Instagram, "Sexyy Red sentenced to death. But the truth will always leak. Watch what happens next." His cryptic tone sent conspiracy theories spiraling, with some fans insisting Kanye knew about the third tape. Meanwhile, news outlets scrambled to catch up. CNN ran a late-night segment headlined, "Calls for investigation after alleged tampering in Sexyy Red case." Fox News, on the other hand, blasted, "Rap star's violent lifestyle catches up to her death penalty. Sends a message, da-da-da." Splitting coverage only deepened the divide among fans and in the streets. Murals popped up overnight. In Atlanta, a wall was tagged with "Free Sexyy" in bold red paint. In St. Louis, her hometown, fans gathered for a vigil, holding candles and chanting her name. Videos of the vigil went viral, drawing both sympathy and criticism. "Why y'all mourning a killer?" one commenter snapped. But the most dramatic reaction came from inside the music industry. Rumors spread that several rappers were planning a Justice for Sexyy benefit concert, not just to support her legal fees, but to shine a light on systemic injustice. Leaked lineups suggested names like Lil Durk, Summer Walker, and even Drake. Fans speculated this could become the biggest hip-hop protest event since the Free Meek rallies. And just when it felt like the reactions couldn't get any louder, Hollywood Unlocked dropped a headline that silenced the internet for a split second. Exclusive sources claim third tape will name another rapper involved. The post sent shockwaves through the culture. True, this wasn't just about Sexyy Red anymore. Another major name might be dragged into the case. But who? Fans speculated wildly. Was it someone from her crew? A collaborator, or an industry rival who had been hiding in plain sight? The speculation alone was enough to set timelines ablaze. Fan threads exploded with theories, dragging every rapper who had ever worked with her into the mix. Some names were trending without any evidence at all. Careers were being stained in real time, and the actual tape hadn't even surfaced yet. But the most haunting part, CPS-style investigators, civil rights attorneys, and even politicians began weighing in, calling for the case to be reopened. Senatorial candidates tweeted support, framing the scandal as proof of systemic corruption. Lawyers hinted that if the third tape surfaced, it could force an appeal and possibly overturn the death sentence. The reactions weren't just emotional anymore. They were political, cultural, industry-shaking, and yet, through all the noise, one chilling truth remained. Nobody knew when or if the third tape would actually drop. Until then, the world could only argue, speculate, and brace itself for the storm that was still coming. For days, the entire culture sat in suspense, waiting for the mysterious third tape that had been teased by Sexyy Red's legal team and whispered about by insiders. Was it real? Was it another fake? Or was it the smoking gun that would shatter the case wide open? The answer came at 3:17 a.m., when the anonymous account at Justice for Truth returned from the shadows. After vanishing for nearly 48 hours, it posted just 2 words, Part 3. Attached was a 1-minute clip scratchy, tense, but far clearer than the first two. The voice was unmistakably female, sharp and commanding. If you handle the drop, he's with name redacted. Don't mess this up. But here's the part that froze the internet. The second voice. A male, laughing, responding. Say less. He won't be a problem. Within minutes, fan detectives claimed they recognized the male voice as another rapper, not a small one, but someone with platinum plaques and a household name. The internet exploded with speculation, fans comparing old interviews, freestyles, and ad-libs to the mysterious clip. One viral tweet screamed, "That's rapper's initials. Don't tell me he's in this too." Theories spiraled instantly. Was this rapper an accomplice? A witness? Or had the tape been doctored to frame him just like it allegedly framed Sexyy Red? The uncertainty only made it worse. Careers teetered on the edge as blogs ran wild. Third tape suggests another rapper tied to case. And then came the most sinister twist of all. The @JusticeForTruth account didn't stop at the clip. It posted a caption that read, "The full recording is 22 minutes long. This is just the beginning." Fans went into meltdown. If the 1-minute teaser already hinted at another celebrity being involved, what horrors were buried in the remaining 21 minutes? Who else could be exposed? And why was this recording being released in pieces, like breadcrumbs leading into a trap? Sexyy Red's camp immediately seized the moment. Her lawyer went live on Instagram, his voice shaking as he declared, "This is proof. She wasn't alone. Evidence was hidden." This trial was a fraud from the start. The internet screamed back in unison. Supporters cheered, swearing this would force an appeal. Critics scoffed, saying it only proved she wasn't innocent. It meant she had allies in the crime. But one thing became clear. This wasn't over. Far from it, because if the full 22-minute recording dropped, it could unravel not just Sexyy Red's case, but the reputation of another A-list rapper. Careers would collapse. Labels would scramble. And the entire hip-hop world would be thrown into chaos unlike anything it had ever seen. As dawn broke, one last message appeared on the account before it went dark again. The next leak will change everything. And just like that, a cliffhanger was set in stone. The world now waits not just to see if Sexyy Red can survive her death sentence, but to find out who else might fall when the truth comes crashing down. Because one thing is undeniable. The storm has only just begun, and there you have it, one of the darkest, wildest, and most unbelievable turns hip-hop has ever seen. Sexyy Red isn't just facing a death sentence. She's now tangled in a storm of leaks, betrayals, and a third tape that could take down not just her, but another major rapper whose name is already being whispered across the internet. But here's the question I want to throw to you, the people watching right now. Do you believe this trial was rigged from the start, tampered by prosecutors and traitors in her inner circle? Or do you believe the recordings prove what critics have been saying all along? That Sexyy Red wasn't just reckless, but calculated, and now she's paying the ultimate price? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is tearing the culture apart, and every voice adds to the fire. And listen, this story is far from finished. That third tape is still out there. We've only heard a minute of it. Imagine what's in the other 21. Imagine the names, the betrayals, the receipts still waiting to surface. When it drops, it won't just be another update, it'll be the moment that could rewrite this entire case, blow open the industry, and drag people we never expected into the flames. So if you don't want to miss the next twist, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Trust me, you're going to want to be the first to hear what comes next. Because if what insiders are hinting at is true, the third tape won't just shock us, it'll change hip-hop forever. Stay tuned. The storm hasn't even hit its peak yet.